Hello, AECT colleagues. My name is Trey Martindale. I'd like to give you just a brief bit of information about me and my experience with AECT and some initiatives I'd like to pursue if I was chosen as the president-elect. I'm currently a tenured professor at the University of Memphis. I've been there for 11 years and have served previously at a couple of other universities. And you can see a little bit more about my background there on the bio that's in the text. A little bit about my AECT experience. I care very deeply about this organization, and I serve in AECT because I feel a great debt to our organization and the number of opportunities it's given me throughout my career for professional development and for professional colleagues and friends and things like that. So this has been my 17th convention to be a part of, and when I first came to AECT, I think it was in 1998 or so, I met a fellow named Ward Cates, and he really encouraged me to get involved in a division, and so I joined the Design and Development Division and went on to be a part of the leadership there, serving as a vice president for communications and then as the conference planner and president of that division. So I got some really good experience about how the convention runs and how to help plan and do the reviewing and so forth. A couple of years later, I got to help Ward and Tom Hergert plan our national convention. And so I got some really good hands-on experience in terms of how that convention planning process works and how to do it well. I was in charge of the technology, and so we actually pioneered doing some things like remote presentations and virtual presentations and things like that. I've been elected 3 times to the AECT Board of Directors, and so I got to serve representing the Design and Development Division, and then later as a representative of all our affiliate organizations, including the international associations. So I got to build a wide network of people that I know throughout the organization in terms of our affiliates and our international group. And later I served as a representative as just the at-large board member. So I represented people who were unaffiliated with the division. And that was a really interesting opportunity to find out who is not a part of an AECT division and perhaps why not. So I think that's a real opportunity we have to engage lots of members who aren't connected to a division. So during this lengthy Board of Directors service, I've been able to develop a pretty deep knowledge of our organization in terms of bylaws and committees and structures, our organizational history, our budget, the strategic initiatives we've undertaken. I have quite a bit of our institutional memory and culture as part of the things that I've experienced being a part of AECT. I've been very fortunate to develop a good working relationship with our AECT leadership, including our professional staff, Phil Harris, Larry Vernon, Lois, Delinda, our current board, our division leaders, and recent presidents. Because we are an organization of almost exclusively volunteers, one's personal network of colleagues is key for moving AECT forward. I think that's a strength that I can bring in terms of the network I have across the organization. I have lots of people that I can call upon for advice and for assisting with our organization. I have a lot of colleagues and networks also outside of AECT that I can bring as a strength back to my home within the AECT organization. Something we've talked about in the past is having a series of ambassadors that reach out to other organizations like AERA, the AACE groups, EDUCAUSE, the eLearning Guild, ISTE, and other groups like that. And that's something I'd like to revive. As I think about convention planning, there are a couple of practical considerations. Kansas City is very close to me in terms of me being in Memphis, so it's easy to get to, easy for me to be able to work out the pre-site visits and arrangements with hotels and things like that for the upcoming Kansas City convention. That would be the one that this president-elect will be planning. Another interesting thing that I bring to the table is a few years ago I was asked by Phil to join a small committee that helped write our strategic plan. And so I'm very familiar with our current strategic plan and the things that it calls for, and I'm very much a supporter of that. I don't know if you know from just being a part of the organization, but we're currently riding what I would call a really positive wave in terms of the past few years. Growing our membership size, our journal readership and impact is up. We have new journals coming along. Our affiliates seem to be doing well. We have a growing number of international affiliates and international events occurring, and our financial stability is in really good in really good standing. So to wrap this up, here are things that I would pursue if chosen as president-elect. I want to continue to make AECT much more than just our annual events. I want to help foster communities and interaction outside of the convention, things like our webinars and our Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, things like that. We have a lot of opportunities to connect our members and to show the value of the membership outside of just our annual events. Our webinars have been very well attended. They're a low cost to produce, and I think they've been of high value to our membership. Secondly, I want to make sure we emphasize international growth, both in terms of numbers and affiliates and the events that we have outside the continental U.S. This is great for both influencing and being influenced by our colleagues around the globe, and so I'm going to support that initiative. Third and finally, I want to reduce and I'll just say I'm really concerned about the cost for our graduate students. I think we're beginning to price people out of the market, and so I want to make sure we can reduce as much as possible cost for convention participation and attendance and lodging and things like that. So that's very much on my radar. So in short, I want to say thanks for your consideration, and I would appreciate your support as president-elect. Thank you.